Hello and welcome to Write the Vision. My name is Judy Ford, and today we are continuing our talk about daughters without dads. And I want to caution early on this is not about bashing dads. We're not here to condemn or criticize dads, but we're here to help find peace for those who have had to suffer without their dads. Some peace so that you can move on in life and you don't get stuck in one place. I'm so glad you joined again today. I'm specifically going to talk about a person from the Bible, a real person named Joseph, and we're going to talk about his plight. This is a sensitive topic. I know daughters without dads is sensitive in and of itself, but also the topic today is incarcerated dads. And we're going to talk about Joseph because he spent some time incarcerated. And Joseph, um, as a youth, was his father's favorite son. And he had lots of brothers. He had 11 other brothers when his mother and father stopped having boys. But only Joseph and his brother Benjamin were sons of their father by their mother, who was Rachel. And so what happened with Joseph was that he was hated by his brothers because he was his father's favorite. He was such a favorite son that his father made him a coat of many colors. And that made them angry. But also, Joseph had dreams. He was a dreamer and he would tell them what his dreams were. And in essence, these dreams that Joseph had spoke of him being a leader over his brothers. And then he also had a dream about being a leader over his mother and father. And so these dreams made his brothers very angry. They started calling him the dreamer. They couldn't speak to him in a nice, cordial, brotherly manner. They always spoke ill of him and spoke negatively to him. And one day, Joseph's father sent him to the field to go and find his brothers. And on this particular day, they decided that they were going to kill Joseph. They had had enough of Joseph and they were going to kill him. And so they plotted to kill him. As they saw him coming, um, they decided this is the day. But one of his brothers told them, don't kill him, put him in a pit. Let's not kill him. And so they did put him in a pit, but his brother, who wanted to save him, had to leave and come back. And when he had come back, Joseph's other brothers had sold him into slavery. And when they sold him into slavery, he was taken to another country. He was taken to Egypt. And his brothers went back home. They put blood on his coat coat of many colors that his father had made for him. And they told him that a wild beast probably ripped him up and killed him. So the father grieved over his son Joseph. Now, Joseph wasn't actually dead. He was just sold into slavery, as I said. But Joseph was sold into slavery, and he ended up working for one of the top military officials in his home. And while he was in his home, Joseph was a person of integrity. He was not an angry person. He was not a bitter person, but he was a person of excellence. He had what the Bible called an excellent spirit. So everything he did with excellence, even as a slave. So much so that he was always promoted to be like the right hand man of his boss. Now, one day, Joseph's slave master, his wife, wanted to sleep with Joseph, and Joseph would not sleep with her. He told her no. And one day, when she was in the house alone, she chased him and snatched off his robe to try and get him to sleep with her. And Joseph ran out. Well, when her husband returned home, she lied and said that Joseph had taken advantage of her or tried to take advantage of her. So her husband, siding with his wife, told Joseph he had to get out, and he sent Joseph to prison. Now, mind you, Joseph had not done anything. He had been loyal to his boss, to his master, rather. And his master had him sent away and put in prison. And when he went to prison, Joseph had favor in prison. Now, remember, I told you he did not allow this to make him a different person. He had a spirit of excellence. So everything he did in excellence. He did not do in anger. He did not do in offense. He did not do in retaliation. He just did everything in excellence, the best that he knew how. And so again, in the prison, he was promoted so that the top guard in the prison gave him the job of taking care of whatever happened in the prison. Again, he was promoted to the right-hand man. So Joseph was there for quite a while, and he met a baker and a cupbearer to the king. And they both had a dream, and God allowed Joseph to interpret both dreams. One dream meant that the cupbearer was going to go back to the king, and he was going to be reestablished in his position. The other dream that the baker had meant that he was going to lose his life in 3 days. So when the cupbearer got back into the palace, Joseph had asked him, please tell them I'm here. I have done nothing, and you see if you can get me out. But the cupbearer forgot about Joseph until the king had a dream that he could not interpret, and none of the magicians could interpret the dreams. And so the cupbearer remembered that Joseph interpreted his dream and the baker's dream, and they both were accurate. So what happened? The cupbearer told the king about him, and the king called for him. Joseph came to the king's house. He interpreted the dreams and then gave him wisdom about what to do about these dreams so that the king would not lose all of his crops and land, and the country wouldn't go hungry. So that day, Joseph, because he was able to interpret and knew what to do, Joseph was promoted. The day that he met the king, he became the king's right-hand man again. And remember, all of this time, he had a spirit of excellence on him. So Joseph gave the king's a plan on what to do about the dream, and the king put him in charge over everything in the land and everybody in the land. And the only person that was in a position higher than he was the king. So there was a famine in the land, and Joseph had a plan for keeping people alive and maintaining food in the land while there was a famine. Well, remember, Joseph was sold into Egypt, and his family was still left in another country. And they didn't know that Joseph was alive. The dad didn't know, and the brothers really didn't know. So for many years, they thought that Joseph was dead. But at the time of the famine, this family, Joseph's family, had to come to um, Egypt to buy food. They came to buy food, and to make a long story short, they had to come back again. And Joseph knew they were, but he didn't reveal himself to them. He acted like he didn't know them, and he tricked them so that he can get them to bring his youngest brother uh, to where he was. Oh, eventually, he had to bring his whole family to Egypt so that he could take care of them in that place. So he became the leader that he dreamt about, and he saved his whole family, his brothers and his father. Now, when his father met him, of course, he was shocked and just did it, it was just so much, so made him so happy to find out that his son was still alive. And Joseph had not been torn by an animal and killed. Now, the point of the story that I want to make to you is just because you have an incarcerated father or mother does not mean they were guilty of the charges. And you don't know why they went to prison, why they are in prison. But I know, as a former educator, I had students who, hated their parents, who ended up in prison. They blamed their parents for the behaviors and being sentenced to prison. Well, you don't really know if they're really guilty of the charges or not. And even if they were guilty of the charges, that does not give anyone a right to take out on society, try to take it out on society by becoming a dishonorable, disrespectful, mean, and nasty individual like I've seen. We don't have a right to act out because we think our parents did the wrong thing or they are the wrong people or whatever. One of the things about Joseph and most sons in the Bible and daughters, they honored their parents. The Bible said that we are to honor our parents. I know a lot of people say you should obey them, and yes, you should obey them, but honor is higher than obedience. Obedience just means I do what you tell me to do. I don't have to really respect you. I might do it out of fear. I may do it because I'm going to get something out of it. But honor is to give great respect to our parents. Whether we're young or old, we ought to hold them in high esteem, a high level of respect. And many of us don't, because we have our own ideas about what they should be doing, what they should not be doing. But the thing I want to caution you about is that I have been young and I have been old, and I have not ever seen anyone who respected their parents and honored them as they become adults. I've never seen one of them live a life that was a negative life, a life of poverty, a life of lack. Most of those who honored their parents had the desired life that they wanted. On the other hand, those who dishonored their parents had a undesirable life that they've lived. See, honor is important to God. And regardless, as I said, regardless to whether we think they're right or wrong or indifferent, we are to honor them. So I want to say to you that your father may not have been around, but even at that, you need to honor them so that your life is a long, healthy, wealthy life, so that your life is a good one, because it is one of the 10 commandments. But this is what people don't think about. There is a promise attached to that commandment. And it says, if you honor your parents, you'll live a long life. And long doesn't just mean in terms of time. It means long in time, in terms of having the things that you desire out of life, having a good life, and being able to enjoy the life that you have. So I want to say today to you, I want to end with, make sure that you are honoring your father and your mother for that fact. But the most important person to honor as father is Father God. He wants to be your ultimate father. And if you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, through Jesus Christ, he will become your ultimate father. I'm so glad you came today. I pray that you heard something that blessed you and helps you to change your life for the better. And I love you guys, and I hope to see you next time. All right. Have a great day. Bye now.